Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 132 of the Alter Ego podcast. I'm your host, Jack Austin. With me, as always, Mr. Ryan. How are you, buddy?
I'm swell, sir. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I hope we don't get canceled for your name, but I love it.
Hey, it's a legitimate question.
I was going to put that same thing, but I just said, you know what? Never mind. Rhino, how you doing, buddy?
That definitely would have gotten us canceled.
100%.
Yeah, that would have got us canceled for sure.
And we have a guest with us today.
Hello.
A brand new person who needs to realize we're in the audio world, too.
What?
Say hello.
Hi.
That's Mackenzie. Hey, Mac, how are you?
Good.
AKA the Mac Daddy. Thank you so much for joining us. Mac is filling in for her sister, Miss Megan, who's been on baby duty lately. So thank you so much for filling in. Wonderful day here. A lot of good stuff. For once, Marvel and DC is not at the bottom of the list. They're pretty late this week. So we got gaming stuff, TV stuff to talk about. It's going to be a good week here at episode 132. But it's been a long time since we've had a newbie on the show. So that being said, we have to get a top 5 out of Mackenzie. It is comic book characters. We should actually broaden this one day to just all of pop culture. But we're going to stick to comic book characters. Could be movie, DC, Marvel, Dark Horse, whatever. Top 5. Doesn't have to be a hero. It can be a villain if you want. Let's see what you got.
Okay. My list is going to be basic.
Wow.
Just going to say that right now.
Okay.
I'm going to say Spider-Man.
No, okay. So are you going from top to bottom or bottom to top?
Top to bottom.
So number one, Spider-Man.
Yes.
That's a worthy inclusion.
I dig it.
I don't think anybody's going to be mad at the Spider-Man inclusion.
Okay, so my 2 and 3 are sort of equal.
Okay.
Thor and Loki.
Okay.
So
dig it.
Probably
so we're heavy on the
influence.
Marvel so far, which is totally cool.
Yeah. 4, Batman.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? Who picks Batman? Where's Mark at? He's got something to do with this. Mark put you up to this.
Our old host was a big Batman guy. So and I have an interesting thing that was sent to us by one of our fans that I want to talk about Batman before we get into anything. Go ahead.
Number 5. She needs to do number 5.
And why Spider-Man? I want to know why is he number 1?
So
because Tom Holland's so cute.
I actually am a Tobey Maguire girl.
Ugh, get her out of here.
Ugh.
Megan, your replacement's terrible.
God, you fucked up twice already. We're 30 seconds into the show.
Let's stop attacking our guest.
I like Tom Holland too. I think I don't know. I'm not super heavy on any of them. I think they all do a great job with their own specific things.
Right, their own iterations of Spider-Man and stuff like that. Now, quick question: have you read any comics ever?
Not really.
Not really. It's not really a thing with some of the younger generation. By the way, Mackenzie was born in the late 2000s. So we've got Spider-Man, then Thor and Loki. If you had to give one of them two, who do you give it to?
Loki.
Yeah, good answer.
I like that.
Or at 3, then we got Batman at 4. Who's at number 5? Who rounds out the list? I'm glad you're not all Marvel.
I was gonna say
I don't know.
for a villain, I'm probably gonna say it's so lame though.
It's not lame. It's your list.
I'll say Octavius, Otto Octavius.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot.
I think
I
it
like
was
that a
when
lot.
I was a kid, he was one of the main ones that I would think of.
Yeah. So the big villain that I always thought of was Venom. I always saw him when I was younger and didn't really know much about comics.
Yeah.
Venom was the big bad guy for me.
Yeah.
And then I, obviously dove into the whole lore of everything, but Venom was the big bad guy for me. So somebody sent us something very interesting. They said a universe swap between Spider-Man and Batman, because they both have a very large rogues galleries of villains, solves the problem for both of them.
Yeah,
that's an interesting thought, because Batman goes to the Spider-Verse where everybody is so serious and they're always willing to kill people and they've got all these technological advancements. Batman just shows up and beats the brakes off of all of them, and then puts them in the ICU, and then off you go. And they said that Spider-Man would not have like everybody loves to play on the fact that Batman is so serious, and not to mention Spider-Man has the spider senses and he's incredibly strong and incredibly fast, that he would just be able to handle that gallery really quick. And the Joker would hate Spider-Man first and foremost. The Joker would not like the fact that Spider-Man is talking shit right back to him. So that was an interesting discussion. I'd say I'd post that to you guys. Do you feel that if they swapped universes that those well, clearly Rhino's opinionated on this. Ryan, what do you think?
If they swapped worlds,
if they swapped rogues galleries, so the guys from Gotham City show up in New York fighting Spider-Man, and vice versa, the guys from New York go to Gotham to fight Batman.
Yeah, I don't see it. Doesn't make a difference to me.
Yeah,
really,
I'm on the same page.
It doesn't seem to.
You don't think it matters?
I don't think it would be as like obvious as people are saying it is.
I think a lot of these cartoony villains would have a culture shock with Batman. Now, there are some exceptions, because the Rhinos of the world and the Green Goblins of the world that have the strength, he wouldn't be able to do too much with that.
Yeah,
I think the moment Carnage or Venom shows up, Batman's fucked.
I don't disagree with you there.
Yeah.
I mean, Venom is gonna beat the brakes off of Batman.
Yeah.
There's nothing that he can do to stop him.
Of super villains are going to beat the brakes off of Batman. Sorry to tell you that, guys. He's just a dude.
Yeah.
But
I think Spider-Man fights more powerful people than Batman does. If you look at the vast majority of Batman's rogue villains, they're just normal people. And it's vice versa for Spider-Man. Spider-Man fights a lot of people with superhuman strength, superhuman quickness, agility, all these things. And Batman's going to eventually catch the wrong guy, and he's going to get knocked out.
Yeah, catch the wrong guy.
Batman's going to fuck around and find out.
You know what's funny is now that the symbiotes have blown up in the Marvel universe right now, I don't even remember that they originate as Spider-Man villains. I know that that's why Venom even looks the way that he looks. But those characters have kind of transcended being rogues gallery villains, with the absolute Carnage run with him, and Venom being an Avenger at some point. Like there's been a lot of changes to those two characters. But you're right, Carnage, however, is top tier for anybody that's showing up to fight him.
But I mean, Batman does also use his head a lot, so he'd probably figure out the sound wave thing.
Yeah, probably
put work in on him, So
I think he'd last longer than we think. But
he would. Yeah, he would.
I still agree that Carnage at the end of the day is too much to handle.
Now there's one villain who's not necessarily powerful, but I would love to see Batman versus Taskmaster.
I think Taskmaster isn't a Spider-Man villain.
He can be. He has before.
He has been, but Taskmaster has kind of just been a mercenary. But Taskmaster versus, I don't know. I have been really reading a lot of Taskmaster lately. I don't know. Why'd you bring him up? Did I tell you something about that?
No. I know that he has been a Spider-Man villain before, and that would actually be a great versus battle.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Taskmaster and Batman.
Okay. Now, which one of these guys of Taskmaster and Batman is geared the best?
Batman, bro, he's a billionaire.
Is he got
Batman's
the hardware,
geared.
the rugged yet stylish watches that are perfect accessory for any Batman that's always on the go? Whether it's at a board meeting or a bar fight, with a high quality materials backed up by a lifetime warranty, you can rest assured that your Geared Hardware will be there for you when you need it most. At www.gearedhardware.com, use promo code AlterEgo20 to get 20% off your order. But yeah, I agree. Taskmaster has always come with all sorts of goodies. Without getting into, I don't want to get into the episode. Actually, I'm not even going to say it because I have a favorite for that one easily. Okay, so let's get into some of the news today. Speaking of Batman, we're starting off at DC. By the way, good list, Mackenzie. Good job.
Very good list. Very good list.
I liked it a lot. So we're getting into the DC universe. As we know, it's very convoluted right now. There's a lot of stupidity going on in my humble opinion. I don't know what they're doing over there. I am hoping and praying that James Gunn can turn it around, because DC has such great content and so many fantastic characters that they could bring to the forefront. But as of right now, they're kind of struggling. They have said that the Batman 2 is already in production. It's going right now, or they're working on it. I personally think that's a fantastic thing to hear. There's been a lot of rumors of who could be the next villain. My one that I'm most excited for that they've mentioned or rumored at is the Court of Owls. I think that is a good level for Batman to go after. I think that would be able to keep up the theme of Gotham City that they've kind of tried to build, like the darker theme. And the Court of Owls are dudes. They're rich dudes that are trying to run the city. I mean, there's more to it. That's the Cliff's Notes version. But I feel for the Battinson and his next step, because he's kind of struggling to want to be that billionaire. He just wants to be the crime fighter. For him to start rubbing shoulders with people and try to keep up that other side, his alter ego, then I think Court of Owls is a good next step. What do you think?
I think it's a great step. Given the way that the first movie went and the outline that they are trying to follow with that particular universe, I know it's going to be just that one universe in itself. It's not going to really tie into James Gunn's universe.
Well, that was the next bit of news that I had, is that they have officially announced that Battinson will not be leaking over in a full-time role. I bet you we see something somewhere, but he will not be a full-timer in the DCU.
I would be optimistic about a Court of Owls appearance and that being the main villain for the next movie. We talked about this last week, how the Joker, the variation of Joker they had at the end of the Batman was just god-awful. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of hoping they take some time to maybe revamp that character, go in a different direction with him. And if we don't see him right away, we don't need to see a Joker right away in this Batverse. No. We've had plenty of Jokers. We've had some pretty terrible Jokers in what's his name, 30 Seconds to Mars. So I'm all right. No. I'm all right with seeing something different. We haven't seen Court of Owls outside of the animated universe, so I'm all right with that. I like it.
I think that's a great step, and there's still that room to keep that dark edge to it. I think they could also go. Here's the problem, is that they did so well with the Christian Bale trilogy. So if I'm that Batman, if I'm Matt Reeves, I'm staying away from those Batman villains. I'm staying away from Bane. I'm staying away from Scarecrow. I'm staying away from Joker and Two-Face. There's plenty out there. I mean, there's a lot of things that you could visit in a Batman universe. They already introduced Catwoman. So I mean, what's wrong with them doing like Mr. Freeze? That would be cool too.
That'd be great. That would be great to see Mr. Freeze.
I want the the guy, the little puppet dude.
God, what is his name?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
I
do.
Gangster.
But he's more like a magic user. He wouldn't fit in that universe, I don't think.
Yeah, he's more
Mad
of a
Hatter. Mad Hatter.
Yeah, the Mad Hatter. That puppet guy's more of a Justice League kind of villain than he would be more of a solo Batman.
You know who would be actually like really amazing, and they could make it really dark and really scary, is a Solomon Grundy.
Oh, absolutely.
Wouldn't that be cool? He's like just basically this 8 foot tall, maybe I'm even undershooting him, 8 foot tall zombie of a man who's like not good, not bad. You know what I mean? Like, he's not necessarily a straight villain. He's just one of those guys who's so incredibly powerful that when he gets into the mix, bad things happen.
Poison Ivy would be another one I'd like to see.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. Yeah. I'm trying to lean away from the fantastical, you know what I mean? Like growing plants with your mind and stuff. That's a bit much. I think she's great if they could do her like they did the other villains. Like they made Riddler a little bit more practical. Yeah, like a Saw style villain.
Like what we were
Ventriloquist, by the way.
Ventriloquist, that's what I thought his name was.
Ventriloquist, yep. Sorry, Matt,
like,
go ahead.
I'm like, he doesn't need magic. He just shows his hand up a puppet's eye. You know what I mean? That's all he does. It's the weird guy who's actually the bad guy who's using the puppet as the boss.
Yeah, what were you saying?
Well, I was saying like earlier when we were saying about Spider-Man and Batman switching, like Spider-Man's got more like fantastical, like
cartoony.
Yeah. And I think that sticking with the Batman that doesn't have much of, it's more of just like real.
Yeah.
Than having those fantastical people in it. I think it'd be better.
I agree.
That's actually that's a very good point. Sorry to cut you off. I just want to say this real quick. That was the one thing I did enjoy the most about the Batman, was that everything that happened in that movie you actually could believe, see happening. Yeah.
Especially Gotham leaning towards the Riddler and getting on board with him.
Yeah.
That I could definitely see. Yep. But like there are still so many great villains out there. You could get Deathstroke, you could get Victor
Deadshot.
You could get Deadshot. He was my last one on the list, man. Deadshot, I think, could be the most realistic of all of them, the contract killer, but we'll see.
Get Will Smith to play him again?
I mean, I don't really care. I don't think so though, and it's not because of Will Smith and because of all things surrounding him, but that character belongs in a very specific universe, and he was a little bit more fantastic with it too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care. I think he was really good as Deadshot actually, but the rest of that movie just crumbled around him. But yeah, so there's been no casting, there's been no announcements, even though the movie is being worked on. Another thing that came out and recently was denied was that there's been any casting at all in terms of Superman. The comment there from James Gunn was, I typically don't even think about casting a character until the script is written.
I'm getting so sick of hearing about his DC universe and what is and isn't happening, and seeing him tweet out and deny shit. Like, first of all, who's leaking the stuff?
Yeah,
because it's obviously a significant enough leaker for him to have to comment on it.
I don't think it's that. I think it's him trying to get in front of the wildfire. You know what I mean? Like, if he doesn't come out and refute it, they say, well, James Gunn didn't say anything. So he's setting kind of a poor precedent for himself.
Yeah.
He's trying to get in front of this wildfire of rumors, and nobody's leaking it. People are getting out, like interesting shit, and the internet does what the internet does and just jumps on it. So
if he wants to put out any wildfire, start releasing your vision. Or start giving us ideas of what you want to do with the DCU.
Oh, that's what he's saying. If he's not done with the script yet, he doesn't have a vision yet.
Right.
He's still working on writing.
You got nothing.
You know what I mean? So, like,
he has a direction that he wants to go in, though. And if he wants to put out a wildfire, give us more than just, it's going to be based on the animated Justice League. Give us more than that.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's so many characters that are still up in the wind too. I'm just like, at this point, I'm almost tired of hearing it because I'm ready for more substantial stuff to happen. I mean, we had this talk about Jon Stewart's Green Lantern coming to the DCU. We've still not seen a true blue Martian Manhunter. I know he's in the Snyderverse cut, but there's a lot of stuff that's been talked about and teased and not seen.
Yeah.
So,
well, since he's restarting it, I mean, look what he did with Guardians. We didn't have any idea who any of those guys were. We had nothing. And then his direction, we love it. He's probably trying to do the same thing. If you don't have any expectations, then you can't be let down.
Yeah. Exactly.
And with DC, I think that's one of their biggest problems is they always try to swing for the fences.
Yeah.
And they barely end up getting past first base.
But see, the problem here with this time around for James Gunn is that he's releasing stuff that we literally just had.
Yeah.
So there's inevitably going to be the expectation there, whether he wants there to be or not. It's going to be there regardless.
The other big challenge with James Gunn, and you hit the nail on the head, is let's talk about things that have worked for him. They're all unknown characters that he's developing and bringing to the silver screen. The Guardians, Peacemaker. He loved working on the Suicide Squad because that's relatively unknown characters that he has a lot of freedoms with. Now he's in a much bigger chair looking at characters that not only does everybody love and admire, but they've got very strong opinions on. So if he comes out there and tries to change something when it comes to The Flash or Superman, he's going to get a lot of backlash. And people are going to not give it a chance because that's their established heroes, that they've got all the memorabilia in their house, stuff that they know and love. And they're going to look at that one thing wrong and say, James Gunn is going to ruin the DC universe.
And that's why I don't think he's releasing anything yet.
Yeah. I don't know. There's not a lot more for DC. I'm excited to see where the Flash goes, even though Ezra Miller's in it. The Flash is my favorite member from DC, other than Vigilante. But I don't know. There's a lot to be seen. Let's move on to Marvel, shall we? Speaking of things that never should have happened, Kumail Nanjiani, who played Kingo in the Eternals, says he has still not heard anything about Eternals 2. Oh, no.
That's good. Go make another Harold and Kumar remake, bro.
You know what, though? If I'm talking to Marvel, I'm like, listen, guys, it's okay to miss once every 12 superheroes.
Yeah.
It's okay. Even though it was a team, it's okay to say, we just did that to introduce the Celestials, okay? We're done. We won't do that again.
I don't know if we see an Eternals 2. I think we see the Eternals again.
For sure. 100% we see them again.
I don't think we see an Eternals 2, though. I think they're not going to gaslight any further projects with them just being standalone people. But to be honest, at this point, I don't think you can. I think the entire point behind the Eternals was for that to just be a standalone movie that kicks off other events. I mean, we're going to have a lot of things going on with the Celestial that's still in the ocean. We had more Celestials be introduced in other movies.
At the North Pole or whatever he is. Where is he? They did say
he's just out. I think he's out in the Pacific Ocean.
Okay, and he's now. Well, we've had a lot of rumors about what's going to happen.
He's going to be an island. Apparently, is what the rumor is. He's going to be an island. That's how they introduce adamantium.
That's how they.
So there's a lot going on there. We saw more Celestials in Thor: Love and Thunder. So I don't think that there was ever a plan to make it Eternals 2. I don't think you'd be able to. I don't think it would be a good movie.
What's the point? Movie. And make no mistake, I don't think Icarus is gone either. I think he's going to come back in a major way.
Yeah,
because he's a big character to just kill off. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be an Eternals 2. Here's the fun one that I saw. Speaking of X-Men, Giancarlo Esposito came out. I mean, he's been rumored and attached to Professor Charles Xavier already. There's been a lot of talk about that. But Giancarlo Esposito, for those who don't know, he's Moff Gideon in Mandalorian. He is the bad guy from Breaking Bad. He's always the really sinister, well-spoken guy. He was The
Boys. He was the executive in The Boys.
What is his name? Doesn't matter. But he's a fantastic actor, and I think a really good person for a Professor X. I'd be happy to see him. The reason he wants to play him is he goes, I finally want to be a good guy. I've never been a good guy in any of these iterations that I've ever been in. I'm ready for people to like me.
I can dig it.
Inject that into my veins, to be honest with you. I'd be all about him playing Charles Xavier.
But then you're going to have those guys, oh, he's not white. You can't have him play Charles Xavier. What are you guys doing?
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I don't.
You don't care, but grown ass men get upset about fantastical things,
Right.
I'm okay with them recasting people for that particular purpose if it's within their range. Like if you came out and said Giancarlo Esposito is going to be the next Superman, then fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
But he's got the perfect range to play a Charles Xavier.
Yeah, I mean, think about it though. Marvel's been doing this for decades at this point. Where I'm going to point you to the original Kingpin of Michael Clark Duncan. There has never been a perfectly sized human being to be Kingpin than Michael Clark Duncan. Yeah. I mean, no disrespect to the guy playing him right now, Vincent D'Onofrio, but Michael Clark Duncan, and everybody had a fit then too. They just couldn't believe they'd let a black guy play the Kingpin, and he was perfect.
Yeah, he did a great job.
He's the best part of the movie, to be completely honest.
I agree 100%.
I mean, so shut the fuck up. Anyway, I'm going to say his name wrong. Ke Huy Quan, who played Short Round in Indiana Jones, has been personally asked by Kevin Feige to join the MCU. Why?
As Short Round.
Oh man, now he's going to be tall wide.
I love that comment that he made though.
What?
I mean, that's a pretty impressive flex. The only people that want him to be in movies are Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, and Kevin Feige. That's a pretty strong flex, dude.
That's actually all you need to put on your resume in the film industry, right? It's all you need. I don't know, like in a directorial role as an actor, I don't know who he would play. Just looking at him, I mean, I don't know.
Are we in a position though to question Kevin Feige's casting?
Not yet.
If he's personally asking Short Round?
The only one that I've seen that people are going after and don't like is She-Hulk. That's the one everybody's going after, and I don't understand that one. I love She-Hulk.
Yeah,
I don't like She-Hulk, but I thought she played a good She-Hulk.
You didn't like the series, you mean?
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the series, but I thought the actress that played She-Hulk, I thought she was perfect for it.
Tatiana Maslany?
Yeah, I thought she did a great job.
Yeah, she's fantastic, and I liked She-Hulk except for the finale and the way that it went. That's the only part I really wasn't a fan of, but I understood the message behind it, right? So that kind of made me appreciate where they were going with that, but at the same time, I was like, okay, we could have done something better here, especially with the major details that are dropped at the end of that one. Okay, so that being said, let's go ahead and take our first break of the day. There's a meaty back end of this episode, a lot of stuff to talk about in terms of gaming and movies. So we're going to take
meaty back ends.
That's right. Attaboy.
Hey, there's a minor on the show, sir.
Let's do this. Let's just do this. Let's get one fist bump. Boom. That way it looks really cool. Now we're going to go right back to it. Anyway, we'll take a quick break. And we'll be right back. We'll see you guys in just a minute. Back. ladies und gentlemen. Oh my goodness. Here we are into the gaming section of the day. Ubisoft, big gaming studio there, had this game that's been delayed 5 times.
Wow.
Oh, hold on. Let me guess the game. Is it Skull and Bones?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it'll come
Do you want to go ahead and guess the next thing I'm going to say?
It's probably going to come out right after Blade. This game has been in like development hell for like the last 7 years. And it just keeps getting pushed back and pushed back. It's going to be on PlayStation 8 before it's ready.
Do you guys remember the big gaming episode that we had where we had all these announcements and they were like, finally, Skull and Bones is coming, we promise.
Oh, yeah.
It's received its 6th delay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That game is going to need a new engine by the time it comes out. I mean, I don't understand how they keep delaying this game.
Right. At this point, everything's going to be so advanced that it's going to come out on Game Boy. You know what I mean?
That was a device that used to be like black and white, and we don't have it 2 buttons, and we played with it. It was great. It's like a block.
Yeah.
You know, it's before the Switch and whatever it is that you guys have nowadays. I'm sorry. She was only like
they use
16.
these things. They use these things called batteries.
Yeah.
Batteries?
You needed 4 of them.
Game Boy, what is that, an app? Is that an iPhone app?
Game Boy, I just downloaded it.
Oh, those were good old days.
Oh, boy. So the 6th time, you know, this is why I hate when they start to announce games. And I'm a victim of it as well. Diablo 4, I've been so hyped about this game for over a year. Everybody that's in my family is like, enough about Diablo. But I'm just like, stop announcing them until you're sure that it's coming out. If you're 100% sure, make the stockholders happy. Tell them you're talking about it, but don't announce any news, no nothing, because then your community doesn't get hyped up like crazy.
Yep.
It's bad because what's the other pirate game that's out right now? The free-to-play one.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves, yeah.
That one's doing gangbusters. That one's doing really well.
Oh, yeah.
And you had the
It has
Assassin's
been for a long
Creed
time.
Black Flag. Yeah, right. These free games, the model works. And then they're like, well, Ubisoft is doing a pirate game and it's going to be just like Black Flag. Because that was the best part of Assassin's Creed Black Flag was being a captain of your ship, upgrading the ship, riding around, fighting other ships, raiding islands. It didn't even feel like an Assassin's Creed game. So Ubisoft jumped on that, and now they've delayed a game for a 6th time. At this point, it's like release date's tomorrow. I don't believe you.
Let's be honest. It's an Ubisoft game, which means you're going to have a giant map. There's going to be sections of the map that you have to unlock, and every section you unlock is going to be the exact same. You do these side quests, you do these main quests, you do these hidden quests, and then you move on.
Yeah.
I actually think it's supposed to play kind of like The Division, but on water. They were saying is there going to be more battles and people like player versus player type of stuff going on.
Gotcha.
And I think that's one of the things that's actually pushing it back further.
Yeah.
Not just it being a.
So how do you balance
typical
a game like that? How do you balance a game like that where it's open world PvP? So anybody who's not there day one is at an immediate disadvantage.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get.
First or last.
I don't see. The thing is, I don't know if you can balance games like that though. But at the same time, why would you want to?
Right.
Because then you lose your diehard gaming audience.
What would be interesting is if you could be a sailor and have a specific job, and whatever your progression is, when you get on your ship, you get that perk. So you can add value to lesser ships. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You want the class of being the powder monkey who manages the cannons. You get on a lower level ship with top tier cannons. Then you got your navigators whose ship doesn't sink. You can go through whatever it is, and your bosuns who can keep your ships. I know a lot about naval warfare, but it's just
This guy low key's been putting in his hours on these.
I got 70 ships in a bottle outside of this room.
That was awkward.
I just wanted to see how long it could be quiet for.
I actually physically felt uncomfortable.
And Ford Supply Company. Nellos. No.
McDonald's.
McDonald's. If you want, I don't like your product. I think it's disgusting. It's cheap. Your service is terrible. But if you want to sponsor the show, McDonald's.
That is a great sales pitch.
They're in. They're in.
McDonald's, if you're listening.
By the way, you guys fucking suck, but if you want to give us money for free, we're here for it.
I'll tell somebody to shove a McDouble down their gullet.
Bring back the steak, egg, and cheese bagel, you sons of bitches.
Stop holding the McRib hostage.
Ruining breakfast, bro.
Yeah. So there's that, and then there are more companies who are coming out saying that the Activision Blizzard acquisition by Xbox is unfair and unlawful.
Oh my God, here we go again.
Yeah. Here we go again.
Now hold on. Name the companies, because this is the funniest part. Name the companies.
I'm after right now. I'm pulling it up. I'm going to get the Google music. I have it right here on my.
Well, you already said one.
What? Say it again.
Google was one of them.
Oh wow, you're talking about the people who started Stadia and then just quit.
Yep, and then Sony was the other one.
Oh, you're talking about the people
Sony is the original one.
Have God of War, who have the rights to Spider-Man.
Yep. Google and Google and Nvidia.
Nvidia.
You can go fuck yourself.
Here's the thing: the way I understood business growing up was that you just could not have a monopoly. Like, you can't be the only service provider legally, right? Like, the government would supplement a competitor for you if they had to. That was the only thing. You can't have a monopoly, and maybe that's just a US thing. But
it is.
I don't know what the problem is here. Like, I mean, even as a consumer, I'm looking at it. If I was the business owner, I'm looking at them like, I have $69 billion. That was the price. I paid it. Now what?
No, it's not.
Well, not only
we don't have $69 billion.
Oops.
Not only that, but they've come out publicly. Microsoft has said, "Hey, by the way, we may be buying the studio. How about a 10-year contract to still feature the content on your platform?"
Everything.
Well, no, it's still unfair.
I don't understand why. Well, I do understand, because they don't want to have to work that much harder. They don't want to have to worry about a contract and not having the coolest and the newest. Well, then use your $69 billion and buy a very profitable, very successful company.
No shit.
Get it over with. I'm ready for World of Warcraft on Xbox Series X. Okay.
I think it's hilarious that the people who have a problem with this are the competitors, even though Microsoft has said, we're not going to fuck our competitors over with this move.
Right.
So
now,
what's your bitch? What's your bitch then?
Right. That's the thing, is like, you guys just bought, what was it? The one that owns Destiny. Bungie.
Oh, Bungie.
It's
Bungie.
Bro,
Yeah.
Nobody stepped up and was like, no, you can't buy Bungie.
This is also a company that owns Naughty Dog.
Yep.
They own freaking Insomniac Games, Sucker Punch, Santa Monica Studios. And all these games have had great games that they have come out that they own.
Now, I wonder how many net studios Sony owns compared to Xbox.
Oh, Xbox is killing them in that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they've got Bethesda already. I mean, Xbox is definitely looking like they will be the gaming king, with Bethesda already in the fold, and now Activision Blizzard showing up.
I think if Microsoft had came out the gate and was like, I want to buy Activision and Blizzard, and I want to make these titles Xbox exclusives, absolutely have a problem with it. If you told me that PS5 couldn't have Call of Duty anymore, I would be upset with that.
I agree with Ryan. I don't have a problem with it personally. I understand why the PlayStation community would have a fit over it. I completely get that, and it's valid.
I don't understand how, though, because, like, I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
But you guys have PlayStation has games that the Xbox doesn't have. This is what we have to do. If I want to play a game that a PlayStation has, I have to go buy a PlayStation 5 now. And that's simple.
That's my counter argument. When I show up as their attorney day one, I'm like, Your Honor, I'd like to have God of War, Ghosts of Tsushima,
Spider-Man.
I'd like to have the Marvel games.
Hallelujah.
I want for Horizon Zero Dawn. I want that franchise over here, and I want it all on Xbox, not exclusively, just shared.
Oh no, we can't do that. See, we're Sony, and we paid these guys, and we need to make all of our money.
Exactly.
Go fuck yourself,
That's the thing.
Xbox.
Why would they make less money by making it available somewhere else?
It's crazy.
Right. I don't understand the logic behind it.
PlayStation, that's all they have is their first party studios and their games. So if you want to buy a PlayStation, you get those games. You know they come with it. Xbox is expanding. It's not just a game system anymore.
Right.
I can't even remember the last like exclusive that really came out for Xbox. That was everybody was like
Halo.
Gears of War. Halo
might be the last one. I mean, that's not even the same as it used to be back in the day.
Well, Halo died because Rhino and I were playing it almost nightly. About 2 or 3 months after it was out.
Yep.
The game was absolute trash, and it was
unplayable. Yeah, it was unplayable.
So, I mean, there you go.
And we played with Mac Daddy down here in the bottom left-hand corner.
We did. Yes, we did. I mean, it was fun at first. I was excited to be a part of it. Wanted it to be the next great Halo game, but after a while, it just got worse and worse and worse.
Well, when they started coming out with the great skins, but it was like, oh, by the way, you got to grind for 4 months, and you have 6 weeks to do it.
No, that's untrue. Halo was the only one to make multiple seasons, multiple battle passes available simultaneously. You just had to pick which battle pass you wanted to be working on, but it's still 4 freaking months.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot to do. It's a lot to contend with, and you're not going to get that unless you're grinding it every single night. And Halo is not tuning their game. Well, that's probably not fair to say they are tuning it, but it's just an unplayable game at that point.
Hey, Microsoft, you're listening? Buy Epic and really piss PlayStation off.
No, come out with Gears of War 5, please. I've been waiting patiently. Yeah, moving on. John Carpenter, famous director.
Gears of War 5 was already out.
Huh?
I thought Gears of War 5 was already out.
I'm thinking Gears 6.
Okay,
Gears 6.
I mean, weird for a second.
So John Carpenter, legendary director. He's done some of the craziest movies you've ever seen, but probably don't remember. Like
Dusk Till Dawn, baby.
Ghosts of Mars. Dusk Till Dawn was not. That was Robert Rodriguez.
Was that Rodriguez? Yeah. I thought that was Carpenter.
Yeah, Dusk Till Dawn. It was the other one that was similar to that.
Vampires. He has John Carpenter's Vampires.
Oh, that's right.
With what's his name? Guy who played Hades in Hercules.
Oh,
James West.
No.
Yep.
Oh, is it James West?
Because James West was in Family Guy.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, Adam West. I'm thinking of Adam West. What is his name?
No, it's James Frieg.
Come on, guys. Somebody's screaming it at
Google Music. Google Music.
Okay, hold on.
James Woods.
James Woods.
Yeah. James Woods. Yeah.
This Google break was brought to you by Ford Supply Company. Offers a curated line of craft soaps and beard care handmade in the USA. Offering scents like coffee and cream, coconut, citrus, cedarwood, and many more. Check out the full line of craft soap bars, beard oil, and beard balm online at FordSupply.com. Free U.S. shipping on all orders over $35 and get a 10% additional discount off your order when you use the promo code Alter Ego. Ford Soap, real soap.
No bullshit. And today's John Carpenter's birthday, too.
Hey, happy birthday, John. I know you listen to the show. We talk often. Happy birthday. I thought Vampires was the last thing you did that was any good, even though it involved a Baldwin. But happy birthday. Okay. So he says that there is going to be a BioShock video game that he is going to be involved with.
He is not involved with, and it's a movie. BioShock movie.
Movie. Yes. He's not involved with it?
He's just a huge fan of BioShock, apparently.
Why wouldn't you involve him? You know what I'm saying? Like, if he comes out there like, oh, hey, buddy, what do you think about coming and consulting on this movie?
You know what? I will talk to those involved. Write that down.
Now, please.
Send it to the appropriate people. Thanks.
It's John Carpenter. John Carpenter. Hire him back. Don't John Carpenter.
Shit.
I mean, he's also 75 years old, so
You're fired again.
You're fired.
You're fired for believing me the first time.
So I also had to Google this because I couldn't remember exactly what it was. He did the original Halloween and he did Escape from New York. I was trying to pinpoint those two.
Escape from New York and Escape from LA, right?
Escape from LA.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, and Big Trouble in Little China too. Oh,
New York, I'm #1. You haven't seen a single one of these, have you? Oh my God!
I'm so uncold for
this guy, Snake Plissken, who's played by Kurt Russell, is allowed to. He's supposed to save these hostages in New York, because it's a post-apocalyptic area and like gangsters and criminals have all taken over New York. The way he gets to save them is by doing a challenge, running full court and shooting shots with a basketball. He doesn't get to free them unless he makes the shot. And the whole time, the Duke of New York is just jawing him. I'm Duke of New York. I'm a number one. Anyway.
I like Escape from LA.
I would love to see that. When's the last time we saw a good life on the line basketball shootout since Space Jam?
The original Space Jam.
Okay.
Since Bill Murray came in fourth quarter, called the gut check from Daffy Duck, who was playing the shooting guard. And if that gut check doesn't happen, Michael Jordan doesn't stretch his arm and score that. I know 2 out of 4 of the people in this room hate that I bring that up, because every time we talk about basketball that I don't watch, that is the play that I go to.
I love it.
I just love when he's writing up the play. He's like, you dish it out to Girl Bunny on the sideline. You kick it up to Michael. You go to the hole and dominate. We're on defense.
Oh,
I didn't know Dan Aykroyd was in this picture.
It's right. God, that's so good. Anyway, sorry. Moving on. League of Legends.
Oh, God.
There's something you're familiar with. Did we get an eye roll? Well, so tell us about League of Legends.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, boy. It's just kind of like...
Oh, boy.
This is going to be really bad to people that like League of Legends.
Get on the microphone so they can hear you.
Okay, so I am not a big fan of League of Legends. I've played it numerous times. It's kind of like you have to level up your character and just like walk around this big place, take over like these towers.
I feel like we're right there.
But it's like timed moves. Right? It's like timed moves.
Is it? Oh, so it's like chess, right? Is it like step play or
no? It's more like everyone has like timed attacks. So like there's cooldowns and stuff, but it's like you just walk.
It's through. Overwatch and
no.
Where you have lanes and you have cooldowns and you have abilities.
Okay. So it's a like, lane.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
But you have to take over these like towers, and they obviously have like defense and stuff. But it's just
now is League of Legends, is that one of the big esports games?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Show they just did about League of Legends.
Arcane.
That show.
I know.
Chef's kiss. It was so good.
I've watched a few episodes of it, and I was just like, there's no way that they've related this to League of Legends, because the game is just like...
I thought it was just characters from League of Legends that were in it.
But it's a lot more of the lore, too, obviously, because I think that is part of the lore. But it's the game is just so, like... Maybe it's just because I've only really grown up with, like, the mainstream games, I guess. Not
sure, like what's a mainstream game to somebody like it was born yesterday? Because you're saying mainstream game to us.
Yeah.
When you say that to us, we think Mario.
Yeah.
We think Donkey Kong, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I would say like more. I was more of a Nintendo person growing up. And
sure. Now you're talking what system?
Like, my first system was the SNES. So
okay.
And then
what is it?
Mine too, actually.
Oh, your first system?
Yeah. I went in a backwards way, man. I got an SNES first, then I got a Sega, then I got a Nintendo.
Let's pull the room real quick. First console you ever had, handheld or otherwise?
Oh, handheld, SNES actually.
SNES.
Okay.
Oh no, yeah, still SNES.
Game Boy.
Original Game Boy.
Yeah. Wow. My first console was the PS1. PlayStation.
Nintendo was my first console.
My brother owned the Nintendo console. The first one that I ever owned that was mine was the PlayStation. We were playing Tecmo Bowl way back when.
Oh, good old Tecmo Bowl.
So they are making a offshoot cross-platform League of Legends like spin-off game.
About what?
About, I think it's your mom.
Got him, coach.
Got him. Hold on a second. Let me find out for you. It is League of Legends reportedly making a new spin-off game for PC and console titled The Mage Seeker, a League of Legends story per South Korean game ratings system. I don't know what the game is about, but it shows this dude who looks a lot like a Blizzard character.
It's weird. Yeah. I would have thought something like this would have came out years ago.
Right.
At its height. Like
Yeah, but the thing is it really hasn't gone down much.
I know it hasn't gone down much, but if you're like a console person, League of Legends isn't really on your radar.
No.
Like, you have to be like a PC kind of a person who plays.
I'm a PC, but I don't.
Nerd.
Yeah, nerds doing your fucking turbo taxes over
Listen, okay, I went from freaking Wii U, Switch, PC. Like, I had never owned an Xbox, never owned a PlayStation. Like,
listen, I've said this many times in this show. I'm gonna quadruple down on it. The Switch is still the greatest console ever created.
It's just the freaking Joy-Con.
Yeah.
So
I wish they would expand.
So bad. Like, literally, if they were to make a new console, if Nintendo was to come out with one, it would be, here's the upgraded Switch with actual working Joy-Cons that you don't have to.
Or just get the Pro Controller like an adult.
Well, yes, obviously.
But. Okay, so let's move off of League of Legends, shall we, and talk about a real game here. Marvel Snap. Has anybody been playing Marvel Snap?
Oh, let's go. No. I hate that game so much.
Whoa. So, hold on, Rhino. Explain to the kids why you hate Marvel Snap.
Because every time I get to level fucking 45, the game's like, oh, by the way, you're a complete fucking loser, and we're going to take you back 10 levels, and we're not going to give you any kind of rewards for all of your hard work.
That's true. I'm not, this is not a comparison, but I'm level 55.
How are you?
And this is a card collection game, and each of the cards have abilities, and you play them in certain areas. They're coming out with a PvP mode where you can play your friends and not worry about your ranking. Finally,
like Pokemon.
It's supposed to happen this month, January.
So now we get to test out all of these prototype decks, and
because now it's like you just build a deck, you go out there, you play, you get absolutely worked, or you win 5 games in a row, get really confident, and don't realize you just lost the next 10. Like, oh man, I almost got that one. Shit.
Now when you lose a card.
No, you don't lose any cards.
You just lose ranking. Which, to be honest with you, right now the ranking doesn't mean anything. Like whether your level
to your tiers that you get for rewards that you unlock, and the game is completely free.
Yeah.
You can pay for stuff, but paying for things does not in any way give you any advantages.
Like not like a gotcha.
I'll pass.
Right. If you pay money, you're just getting different variants of the card. You're not really getting better cards. I'm gonna show.
Well, you can level up to get the rewards, but once you get to a certain, because there's different reward tiers, there's different reward areas. Once you get to a certain level in one of the reward areas, the amount of drops significantly.
Right.
You're no longer getting great cards. You're just getting tokens and shit like that.
Yeah. But it's interesting. I mean, you can get a collection level and upgrade certain cards and play how you want. Like I played somebody the other day that had an entire Guardians of the Galaxy deck.
That's awesome.
It's cool, right? I mean, like you get to play what you want. And if you're just looking for something to waste your time doing, this game is perfect. Like that's all you want. But yeah, Marvel Snap PvP gonna be awesome. Let's move on to movies and TV, shall we? Everybody, let's give it up to James Cameron, shall we? That's for you, James. That's for you, buddy. Good job.
Nah, I ain't got nothing but one of these for James Cameron.
Why? Because he made 1.89 billion at the box office with Avatar.
Shit about my superhero movies. We're not friends no more.
That's true.
Fuck you and your little blue people, bro.
I still want to see your movie though, James.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I haven't seen either.
The opinions of this podcast by certain co-hosts are actually shared by everybody. Fuck you, man. Don't diss my Marvel movies. No, but seriously though, James, come on, man, be cool. He says people need to get back to the theaters. This comment and a lot of the comments from James Gunn remind me of
James Cameron, not James Gunn.
James Cameron. Did I say James Gunn?
Don't throw James Gunn.
Did I say James Gunn? James Cameron. Sorry.
Do that to us.
James Cameron, it sounds like that guy that you know in your family who keeps telling you how VHS was better. Like he remembers the good old days when they were allowed to hit in football. You know what I mean? Like he's that guy.
You don't know anything about Laserdisc, son.
Oh my god! But it's a get back in the theaters. Like, listen, I love the theater experience, but damn, you can't see the game has evolved 100%.
It's like he just got over talking about how he had to walk 4 miles to school
uphill both ways in the snow.
Barefoot in the snow.
That's it.
Isn't it kind of ironic though that the man who said his movie might not make a profit is now all of a sudden saying, "Let's get back to the theaters"? Shut the fuck up.
I remember when a dime cost a nickel. You sons of bitches. We used to go to the theaters and hold hands. We didn't have MTV. We just got stoned and watched the radio. You fucking bastards.
I mean, the only movies I actively go and see in theaters are Marvel releases.
Actually, it's comic movies, period.
Yeah. Comic book movies. I mean, well, the last couple DC releases I did not go see in theaters. But
I saw the
Black
Adam.
I saw the Batman in theaters twice and was happy about it. Good freaking movie.
But dude, if a decent good movie came out, not a Marvel movie, just a great action movie or a great comedy. When's it coming out on Netflix? When's it coming out on HBO?
Yep. I think that's the new mindset now.
Yeah. Last time I went to a theater in my underwear, I got kicked out. I can do that on my couch now and not have any legal ramifications.
Snacks are a lot cheaper too at home.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, dude, James, I mean, I'm happy for you, man, and I will go to the theaters when I want, but that being a common occurrence is not a thing.
Yeah.
So, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I didn't know this was a thing. We posted about it, and the most recent trilogy of the Planet of the Apes movies, 1 and 2, are amazing.
Great movies.
They are so stinking good. You would never think you would care about an ape played by Andy Serkis so much as you do watching those two movies. Number 3 was okay. I didn't really like the villain arc or the ending, but it was a decent movie to round out the series. Now they're saying Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is a thing, and it's got William H. Macy tied to it to be one of the characters. I love William H. Macy.
Now, is this a remake or is it a fourth movie in the franchise?
That's what I want to know, because Andy Serkis, I don't think, is attached to it. Let's look her up here. Let's go to the old IMDb and see what they've got. All I can think of when I think of William H. Macy is, what's that movie with Kevin Spacey where he's like, "Where's my dinner?" Where everything is black and white and then it turns color throughout the movie.
Oh, is that American
Beauty?
American Beauty, yeah.
So
it's where he goes to fill out the job application at the fast food restaurant. Sir, you are way overly qualified to work here.
This one is not starring Andy Serkis. Well, obviously it wouldn't. I shouldn't have said that. But coming out in 2024. Interesting. William H. Macy, Kevin Durand. Is the only names I recognize right off the flat. No, Durand. Who is like that one tough guy in every movie that you've seen that's in it for 5 minutes. He does an okay job, but he's really over the top. That's Kevin Durand. Yeah. No, The Rock is in it for 2 hours and is really over the top about everything. I'm not talking about The Rock. I promised myself this week.
We haven't had an episode without a Rock rant in a while.
King Kong versus Godzilla has a sequel coming out in 2024.
Oh, boy.
What oh boy?
What do you mean, oh boy? I'm all about that action, boss.
Let's go. Let's hear it.
No. I just feel like there's been so many of them. Like, I've never seen like.
Oh boy.
Them.
You haven't seen what?
Any of them.
Why?
So
let me tell you this. This is for the men in the room here. I understand why you don't like it. It's big monsters destroying cities and fighting each other. That's what we want.
Manly instinct.
Sign me the fuck up.
All we want. A giant gorilla fights a giant iguana who can shoot lasers out of its mouth. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah. They had all of the new ones have had atrocious stories. Yeah. Never once did I give a shit. They're visually spectacular. Giant monsters, destruction. I'm all about it. I loved them.
You know what I'm sick of? Humans mattering at all in these movies.
Yeah.
Oh, they're protecting us. Why? These are like apex predators.
That's why my favorite part of the one is let them fight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let them fight. I want to be the guy in the control room and turns around like what? How could we not let them fight? Yeah. What do you want us to do?
I wish I could.
How would you like us to intervene, boss? The 80-foot gorilla.
Let them fight. Let them. Okay, hey, fight.
Yeah. What if you'd said break it up? What were we gonna do?
Hey, Herb Dean, get him. Vince Dean, before this fight, I have this buffer. I fly a man on a helicopter.
Yeah.
Drops down in this corner, weighing in at 72 tons.
That's right.
It'd be great.
I like how you call that Herb Dean and not Big John McCarthy.
I'm a Herb Dean guy, man.
Are you?
know? Yeah.
I was always a big fan of Big John. I like Herb Dean as well, but how do you stop it? How do you stop it? So there's supposed to be a monster verse now. They're supposed to have TV shows following these two creatures, which who knows when that starts. And Godzilla and King Kong have already fought. Awesome movie. We got Mecha Godzilla. Where do they go from here? I don't get it. And how is the planet still standing?
That's what I was saying. It kind of seems like they're just trying to beat a dead horse.
Right.
Like,
oh, it's called a cash cow. Yeah.
Well, it's one of those franchises that it's been around for 80 years.
Oh,
yeah.
You can continue to make these movies. They're going to make money at the box office.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Speaking of that,
can we throw a T-Rex in there next time?
Ooh.
Just a giant T-Rex.
Or
That's all we want.
just like a T-Rex being like just
there was
by them.
There was a T-Rex in the King Kong that had Jack Black in it. Do you remember that one from the early 2000s?
Two of them at the same time.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's actually one of the greatest movie fights for monsters that I've ever seen. Like in that kind of series, like that's another one. That King Kong with the humans, Jack Black and Adrian Brody and all the people who actually gave a shit about them. Stupid. King Kong wrestling a couple of Tyrannosauruses. I'm in. Speaking of franchises that are beating a dead horse until they're glue and your kids are doing arts and crafts with them, there's a new Alien TV series starting production this year. Alien is still a thing.
I don't mind that either.
That's another thing, because it's aliens and their inescapable death. That's why they're just so compelling to people. And you're holding on to the nostalgia. When's the last time you saw a true blue new idea come out in theaters that wasn't Avatar?
Nope. True blue.
And Avatar, Avatar is just recycled.
Avatar is something with a new skin on it.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's all in TV that you're going to find any sort of new ideas, and then you find out it's from a book, and you're pissed.
I got to read?
Come on, man. I got to read this thing? So that'll be interesting. Here's the last thing that I want to talk about. The Boys. Season 4. Getting into production. A producer has come out and said that the most disgusting thing he's seen in his career is in season 4 of The Boys.
How does it get more disgusting than some of the things I saw last season?
Than getting a guy getting choked by a giant penis?
By a long, that was not, or the guy,
or a guy going inside the penis.
Yeah.
Just like,
or the squid, bro. Come on, like
the octopus,
whatever it was.
Here's the thing. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't understand why. It's such a good story. You don't need to do the shock and awe with this series. It doesn't have to happen. Like a little bit of gory violence, sure, I'm all right with that because these are superheroes that don't give a fuck. But we don't need to see the disgusting shit.
That's my big thing now. Is like you have this great story and a lot that you can push, and the reason you're doing stuff like this is just to get those gross buys. Like Hero-gasm last year was one of the highest watched episodes because of all of this, and these aren't like fans of the show. I imagine I think they hear really gross shit is gonna happen and it's Hero-gasm, so they're like, I'm gonna watch that. A lot of guys out at truck stops fingering their belly buttons. They were like, yeah, Hero-gasm, shoot.
See, when I hear shit like this,
I do to Wonder Woman,
she ain't even in it. Things I do to her.
When I hear shit like this, it tells me that they no longer have any good ideas for the series.
Yeah. That
they're running out of things to put into the character development, the story arcs, all that. Let's just pump it full of sick shit so people watch it still.
Most stars nowadays.
It's just is that indicative of the audience, of the consumer?
I think it's a little indicative of that, and it's a little indicative of the we can't create new shit anymore. We have to just keep pumping you full of the same shit.
So last season we had a guy choked by the penis. This season they're gonna have somebody playing 5-card Monty with it. Like, what's the? I don't care.
Well, I thought that guy died. Didn't he die?
No, he just got like 3rd-degree burns on his dick.
No, same difference.
Yeah, I'm sick of it. I'm like, okay, can I fast forward through whatever the gross thing is to get to the plot?
Yeah,
I don't need this.
And something tells me we're going to see these normal people taking superhero serum again. We're going to see Carl Urban fighting Homelander.
That was the problem with season 3.
Yeah,
you barely saw that. We finally got it. We got a showdown, and then at the end, it's like, eh. And I kind of sided with Homelander at the end. He just wanted his son. All right, I got my son. We're done here. I was like, okay, where are we going from here? And then it's this whole fight. Gazingas.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know, guys. I don't know where we're going with some of this TV, man. Next week, however, we will be talking very heavily about The Last of Us that just previewed. I take IGN with a grain of salt, but IGN rated it a 9, saying that it was a great episode. Everything that I've seen has been really good things. I think this week you're going to have to watch that, Ryan.
Nope. I didn't even play the game, bro. I didn't even play the game.
The Last of Us.
Me neither.
Nope.
Telling you, The Last of Us was so good as a game that Megan wanted me to play it just so she could watch the story progress.
I know. I've been wanting to play it too.
I've heard that from several people, but me trying to play it 10 years later, it's clunky.
Why? You'd fall asleep.
I almost want to. There's no action in the game's lame.
I'm surprised you haven't fallen asleep on an episode yet.
It'll happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here at the Alter Ego Podcast. I have been your host, Jack Austin. Obviously, Ryan, Rhino, and our guest, Miss Mac. Hopefully she returns. We'll see you next week for episode 133. Thank you so much.
And Darcy, I got you, homie. More talking. Boom.
He did the thing you told him to do, the thing.
All right, she is going to be ecstatic.
See you guys next time. I'm just going to let the music play out because I like the music.
I'll put you on hold. I like to watch the light blink.
I like to watch the light blink. All right, y'all. See you around the way.